Hi, Azra. How are you?
Hi, Eilyn. So good to see you.
I know, as if we haven't been chatting for like 8 hours already.
As if we haven't. No, as
It's
if we didn't
typical.
have all these talks.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So the day of recording, we are recording under an Aquarius moon with a gorgeous Cancer sun. So the combination of that sun and that air element really inspires like looking into the future. And you and I always talk about the future, timelines, and healing our timelines. And this is why we're getting together and hosting this retreat because we want to share these secrets with other women too. So we're going to have a conversation about that. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. I guess we're kind of taking a little conversation form. Let you introduce yourself and what you're feeling into for this retreat and your hope and your vision for women coming in.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, where do I start? It's after years of corporate career, I got a burnout several years ago, and that's where my awakening journey, where my healing journey, spiritual journey started. I followed shamanic courses, ceremonies. I started doing art. I started coaching people and went deeper and deeper on the healing journey with myself and my clients. And I noticed how different modalities work differently on different people. So it's not like one modality heals it all and takes everything away in one session. It's own work, and it's the awareness, it's the body work, the shadow work that really heals us, that brings those nectars, releases out of the body, especially the body, because the body keeps the score and all our emotions are locked in there. They are hidden from us, but not hidden from the body. So um when the sickness manifests in the 3D world, like mental sickness, but also bodily diseases, it's a sign for us, the sign to look into ourselves, into our past, into our traumas, and even things that we don't even call traumas, but that we keep on getting triggered and keep on getting into the same patterns and
Mhm.
repeating ourselves in our misery.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
my dream and my vision for these women that will come to our retreat is to dive so deep into ourselves while Aileen and me holding the space, holding the sacred space of sisterhood, of love, compassion, to open up, to expand into our pain, into our stories, to discover what our story is. Because often we don't even know what our story is. We just have snippets of why we are unhappy, why things don't work, why other people are doing shit to us that we don't want to do,
Mhm.
don't want to have. And it's them.
Yeah.
While when we relax into into expansion, we can see how we are playing role into all this, and we can take one by one and to heal it.
That's so beautiful. And I know that when I started my healing journey, also coming from corporate burnout, working very masculine energy, so very fixated on just financial security and fixated on providing for my family and just making sure that my kids and my husband and myself didn't have to suffer the way that I suffered growing up. And that was the programming that I had. That I needed to, I was the person who would say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And I would borrow time from my future consciousness just to keep myself going, burning the midnight oil and thinking I had this abundance of energy that I could just, be so, so frivolous with and just spread it all over the place. And I ended up cornering myself in a position where it was work nonstop, and my mind had conditioned itself to always need more accolades, more success, because that's how I found that I made any sort of sense in the world. That's how I felt people could give me back like a sense of belonging, which I was always searching for. And that's how I felt important during that time. And then I started to kind of think throughout my burnout, wait a minute, like if I'm not doing all these things for people and I'm not putting out fires and answering emails late at night, what are people actually thanking me for, right? Like, what am I actually existing for other than to be someone's, secretary? And I'm like, nobody knows who I am. I don't know who I am. And that existential
That's
question,
big.
yeah, that big existential question of like, who am I? Why am I here? Is really daunting. And when I first started to like realize just how numb I was, I just didn't know what shadow work was. I didn't know the value of it. I didn't understand why I needed it. And it really takes a lot of time and dedicated practice to understand why you have to go into ritual, why you have to be in sacred space. And that's why these retreats are so nourishing, because that's what you're doing. You're sealing up a space with other women and you're exclusively working through that energy so you can understand what your shadows are, so that you can understand it in a way that is relational to you, not just something you see people talking about online. Do you know what I mean? So that it becomes a thread of your own
Absolutely.
existence, right?
There is so much advice and so much knowledge everywhere you go. The books, YouTube, Instagram, you can scroll for hours and for days and for months and for years. And oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. I will save. Oh, I will do. And we don't.
Uh-huh.
And once you are like in a safe space for extended period of time, like a week, you can extend into that. Like I'm jumping from one thing to another, but before my burnout, if we would go on a summer vacation and I would try to deeper breathe into my belly, like what you also said, all these shadow works, I had no clue about it. So I started with breathing because that was kind of healthy, right? I couldn't. It took me a week before my belly could kind of let that deeper breath into my body. A week.
Yeah.
So, but there, I was with the children and they had to cook and had to go and do all these attractions and be on time and there, you know how it goes. Vacation with children. It's blissful, but when you are like almost burned out, your body doesn't know how to help you. It's just
Yeah,
screaming from every cell of the body, I can't do it. And you are doing it. You are going, go, go, go. We have to. And so,
exactly. Running on
com-
fumes.
yes, to coming back to the why a week is better than any other. It doesn't have to be better, but it's really transformational
Mm,
because it takes time. It takes time for us to feel safe.
mhm.
A lot of women don't feel safe in their body without even knowing that.
Exactly.
They don't feel the body. I didn't feel my body when I was in the beginning of my burnout. If
Me
you would
neither.
if you would punch me or pinch me or whatever, I would of course feel that. But
Another thing
I
too
was
is,
so disassociated from that. And psychologists said that they have an expression for somebody who lands in the burnout. They call it lollipop head.
mm,
There is a big lollipop head on a stick. There is no body. We don't feel it. We don't associate it with it. It's just the vessel that brings our big head forward.
yeah, exactly. And the other thing I wanted to say is that's why a lot of women that are going through burnout can disassociate with like drinking alcohol or other, dangerous sort of escapisms because the body is so numb, it's not even connecting to what it's taking in. So, this is like from my personal experience, and this is not something I talk about very often, but I will share it in this space. I started to notice that something was off. I'm 5'3", so I started to notice something was off because my consumption of alcohol was so high.
When you say
And
5'3", you mean feet?
five
You
feet,
mean
five
length?
feet, 3 inches tall, right? I'm just saying, like, for a short
Yeah.
person and like of small to medium size, the amount of alcohol that I could drink without feeling anything. I'd just be able to walk to the other side of the room was not normal. Like if my body was really at its best and my mind and my spirit were at its best, I wouldn't have been able to tolerate that. I would have been rejecting it, but it was just like nothing. Like I was drinking water. It just, that's how I knew I was numb. And I don't know if you and I have ever talked about that. And other people pointed it out to me. They were like, you're drinking a lot. And I'm like, no, it's just an after work cocktail. It's just an after work cocktail. It's just weekend drinks. And I hadn't noticed how much I was increasing my dependency on numbing out. And, I would like, it wasn't a problem, but to this day, I'm like, that was a lot. And I was able to just stop once I caught myself. And then once I caught myself and my body started to detox from all of that numbing out, did I ever feel it? And that's when like that kind of darkness hit because, you withdraw from alcohol and you get a depression, you get anxiety, your body doesn't feel right, your skin feels like it's crawling, and you want to do everything possible to escape that feeling, but you have to sit in that withdrawal process. Like that's what I went through. And that's how I found my way into yoga and mindful eating and meditation to start to bring the heat in my body down because it was so burnt out. It was so burnt out. You could touch my skin and it was hot. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up sweating.
How you physically felt the burning.
My body was on fire. Absolutely.
That's so beautiful that you bring that up because I didn't have these feelings, probably because I was further numb than than possible. But what it felt like visually for me, like inner visions that I had, a burned out house, these scorched black beams that are there,
Mm.
the rest is gone. That's how my body felt to me.
I
Like,
had those dreams.
sorry?
I had dreams where like I'd be in a room and the curtains were on fire, the house was on fire, but I just wake up and be like, that was an interesting dream. But
Hmm.
now that you and I are like on that other side of it, when we hear women say things like, oh, I could drink so much, red flag. I have dreams where things are burning, red flag. I wake up in the middle of the night, I can't go back to sleep, red flag. High blood pressure, red flag. My friends tell me that I'm overdoing it, red flag. And we're not just going to bring these things up into your awareness. We're going to help you transition through them and integrate the tools of healing that have helped us in our journey to get through the stuckness, to get through the burnout, and like being in the void and really releasing our souls to be, their truest expression. And that's how you and I connected. So do you want to share that story of how you and I became friends and best friends for life?
I do. It just before I go there, it's like what you were saying, it triggered like when I was almost calling in sick for having a burnout. Of course, I Googled what are the symptoms of the burnout. I could check all of them. Like they were like 20 and I probably checked like 19. But sleep, I think it's very big thing to show us that we are sick. Like I was also waking up in the middle of the night, soaked in sweat,
Same.
heart bouncing. And I
Mhm.
also had heart bouncing during the day.
Mhm.
And also not feeling safe in my body. It's like, yeah, it's like the body's not there and it's not me. It is something else.
Mhm.
and also brain fog. I mean, what is brain fog? For me, it was like the last few weeks before I called in sick. I noticed I was staring at the screen and like busy with one sentence for 15 minutes to like put it together. It's like, what was happening there? It's like the words were not coming anymore. And coming back to the lollipop head, I had a feeling if there was one more thought trying to enter my big head, it would just explode. So I think I was really far off, like in the burnout, because the reason is was why I called in sick was that I got a blackout on the highway. So that was like, okay, that is probably a good moment to call in sick now and not to go on. And at
Yeah.
that moment, I thought, if I take 2 weeks off, maybe 4 weeks, at the very most 6 weeks, I will be okay. And I wasn't. Only at the moment when my doctor said, well, you close your computer and you are sick now. Only then I gave the permission to myself to get sick.
Mhm.
Half a year later, I was sicker than at the moment I called in sick
I
because
so agree with that. I so agree with that. Like you
because
hold yourself
you,
up.
you hold it, I can
Yeah.
still do it. And
Yeah.
only at the moment when you think, okay, shame aside, I just can't do it anymore. My body, my mental capabilities are just not there anymore. I'm done. My body's done. My psyche's done. Everything. It's just nothing works.
How long do you think you were in burnout before the denial went away?
You mean from the moment I called in sick? That moment you mean?
No, like how long do you think you were in a
Before that?
burnout before you were like, oh my God, this is something that's dangerous?
Oh, I think I was probably a year, 1/2 year. Because another thing is voice. Voice is such a big thing. I heard a video taken of me, like we were on vacation, so I was talking something and there was video, like few months before that, before the calling in sick, my voice was there, high pitch. So when I hear now, especially women with
Yeah.
high pitched voice, I think, ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
they are walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
They are people pleasing, which I did a lot.
Because they go
They
like this. They're like, oh my God, do you want something? They come up, they come out of their sacral chakra instead of relaxing into it. The healed
They
voice is
are not
actually,
chakras.
right? It's
Everything is like block, block, block.
yeah, yeah,
So there are so many signs when you know how to recognize them.
yeah.
We just go on. We people please. We neglect ourselves.
Yeah, we think it's normal. Everyone else is going through burnout. What makes me so special that I have to take a time out from life? And then all of the conditioning comes through and we fight it, we resist it because it's like we have to turn around and tell our partner if we are in a relationship, hey, I need to deal with this. I need to, pull my income off the table. I need someone to pitch in here. And it's like women are so deprived of help. They're so deprived of help. And this is something that we want, I think, that has helped bring us together is that we are so nurturing towards each other. And we're across the globe from each other. I'm in Canada, you're in Europe, but like we nurture each other through listening to each other, holding space for each other, friendship, non-judgmental spaces that we can share with one another. And this is really like the essence of why we want to create a retreat and really seal all that energy in, because that is medicine. When women come together, nurture each other and help each other and listen to each other after years of just existing without having a voice, without having someone, yeah, they hear you, but are they listening? Are they tuning into your energetic pain, to your energetic frustration, to your desires, to the things that are hidden inside of you that you need to speak into the world, your desires, your dreams? And by us providing this sacred space in our retainer, we want to help women with that, right? We want to give them a place that they're listened to, a place where they're adored and where they're nurtured back and repaired back, right? If you were allowed to take your life circumstances to trial, the judge would try to find a way to repair the harm, right? And this is what we're doing. This is life court in a way, right? We're
No,
trying to repair.
I'm listening to you, the way you say that, oh, to be listened and to be able to say that. And I'm thinking, when I was pre-burnout, I was not even dreaming of that. My only focus and dreams were to hit the time of vacation and to go away, to be able to travel and then okay, then I have to work again. But this like dream that comes true now to be able to be who I am, to be accepted of my weirdness, to be accepted in and not, even if I'm not accepted at the moment, I am okay with that. When you feel that the whole world is against you, you stop trying. You stop even dreaming of being your weirdest self, like how cool that would be, how much joy I would feel. No, because that's not on the list of possibilities. It's like so far gone that there is no there is no dream of being heard of. Well, yeah, we are irritated that the others don't hear us, or so we experience more like lack of
Mhm.
what our soul is craving to experience. And that's actually, I find a nice turn to the healing, because often for us to learn what we want, what our soul is craving, is we are shown what we so not want to have, what we so don't enjoy to experience. Because otherwise, if you ask people, what would you like to do? What would you like your life to be? They don't even know.
Don't know.
Yeah, I would like to have financial security. I would like to this. I would like, but it's like all this is vague. It's like, what sets my heart on fire? Is it
Mhm.
always money? It why do I need this much amount of money? Why do I need to have those things? Is it
Mhm.
the things that give us the joy? And actually, the longer I am on this self-healing journey, the more I realize that it's the feeling that we want to feel. We sometimes don't even know what the feeling is that we want to feel, because it has been buried under so much muck that we can't even start to discover and to excavate. And
Yeah.
that's why 7 days together in the sacred space, we can excavate a lot.
Yes, and plant a lot of seeds too. Seeds for prosperity, seeds for growth, seeds for awareness. And there's just so many beautiful doors that just blow open once you allow yourself to heal. Because you're right, there's so many periods in the healing journey, but just setting the intention to be there, to be received, you are giving so much back to the universe and saying, I'm done. I'm done with the way that things were going in the past. And I'm opening myself up to this new adventure, to this new journey. And I don't know what it's going to look like. The pieces are not going to make sense, but I'm going to find a way to trust that the universe has my back and trust in myself that I followed my intuition and my intuition is not going to steer me in the wrong direction, right? Because that's really what we want to make so clear that we don't know what your journey is going to look like at the end of the retreat, but the hope is that you've planted so many seeds that a year or two later, you are seeing your transformation blossom. You are improving your relationships. You are leaving the job, the people, the things that are bringing you down, and you are finding passion, and you are finding self-love and self-trust, and life just keeps getting better and better and better. And you're meeting your soul family you can be weird with on 15-hour phone calls from across the world. And really just home, find home within yourself. Well,
That
that's
is
my wish for.
so, wait, that is so big. I really want to pause there because our souls and ourselves don't even know what being home is. It's not the milk and cookies bullshit. It's the permission for ourselves to be ourselves. And that is huge. We never talk about it, It's like, oh yeah, set your boundaries, have self-esteem, radical confidence. All that comes from inside. When we love ourselves, when we feel at home, we don't tolerate certain behaviors. And yes, we have to set the boundary. And yes, we get more confidence, but that confidence comes not because, oh, we followed the training, so now we know how to present ourselves. No, it comes because we don't care what the others think, because that's their problem. That's not our problem, what they think about us. It is us giving that permission to ourselves because we love ourselves, because we know how wonderful we are and how relaxed we can be into all that. Like being relaxed in our body, that's where the voice comes from. That's where the vibe, the sexiness, the expression, all of it. And
The
it's
freedom.
so simple. There's nothing complicated into that. But
Yeah.
being together, being with other women who allow us to be that, then we learn to allow ourselves to be that, to do that, to do the crazy shit, to dance like nobody's watching, to scream. Scream is
Dress
big.
however we want.
Getting angry at everything that has gone wrong in our lives. Stepping out of the good girl syndrome, you know? The
Absolutely.
burnout comes like bad bitches, they don't get burnouts. Good girls get burnouts because they try to please everybody, stepping all over their own boundaries and trying to keep themselves in some kind of safety construct that is not working.
It's you're so right. And reclaiming energy to be able to empower yourself, right? Because you can't look, to other people to empower you. You can be influenced, but influence fades. You empower yourself. You keep yourself lit up. You wake up each morning and you choose to love yourself for everything that you are, and that comes as a direct result of working on elevating your feminine energy and being nurtured and being nurturing. And I really feel that you and I, when we come together, we're able to do this for one another. We have a lot of water
That
in our hearts, because we are such mirrors for one another. And you have helped me see things about myself that I have been able to take away, to integrate, to meditate on. And it hasn't scared me. You have been very honest with me. And then I've been able to come back and
be honest
slowly.
with me.
open up a little bit more each time. But in the same vein, I do that right back to you. And there's nothing that stops us from sharing that honesty. I have never said to myself, I can't say this to this person. She lives on the other side of the world. We're not even the same age. We're not even the same culture. That's never crossed my mind because we see each other. We see each other. And that is such a gift when you can meet someone on this journey in life that has depth into your soul. And it is so healing when you can have someone look at you with so much purity because there is no judgment, there's no facade. We don't have a
No, it's
hidden.
like, is this all? Can we go deeper?
Yeah.
Activate all the shit. Is that you want to stop? That's good. You want advice? Here it comes. Or you just want to get it out of your way, out of your system. All is good, and all is like being able to be what you know a lot of people would judge, and being honest with you and being honest with myself. That's big too, because we are, of all the people that we lie unintentionally or intentionally, the most we lie to ourselves, the most we abuse ourselves.
Yeah.
The
Give
worst,
everyone else the good stuff.
the worst relationship we have is with ourselves.
Yeah.
Work, love, whatever, all of it comes back to how we treat ourselves.
Yeah. And it's not a right or wrong thing. It's just a learning curve that comes with spiritual growth. It's not about being a good person, a bad person. It's about accepting that you're always growing and that you're going through the ebbs and flows of life. And I think so many women are just so hard on themselves because they want to get it right. You know, they're so set up for this balance thing, and there's no such thing as balance. There really isn't because life isn't fair. And some people live at a 80-20 split, some people that are a 90-10. It's how you react to the changes of life, to the change of the tides. You know, you could be going through a season where things are going great, but then the transits change in the sky, and all of a sudden, you're going to be met with crisis. You're going to be met with difficult people and difficult situations, and you're being tested to see how much wisdom you've acquired and how much self-love you've acquired to know that life is working for you and it's not coming to work against you. The shoe isn't going to drop. So for me, this work is so much about grounding and about that root chakra and about finding a sense of belonging no matter what is going on in the world, and finding that sense of safety within the self that's like, okay, I have this stack of difficult situations that maybe I'm working through right now, but it's not always going to be this way. I know there's an end to this cycle. And that's what invites hope and trust and openness into the world. And as long as you stay that way, people will come into your life, they will fold into your path, and they will help you. God will send their angels. And I feel like that's how you and I met. So, do you want to share that story?
Yes, yes,
I'm
wonderful. I
going
mean,
to bring you back.
we met Krista from Femlux introduced us to each other, and you came for a session, and that was such a special set. It is up till this day. It's one of the most changing sessions has been. It was a distant healing, so we had a video call, and at certain point he said, "Do you mind if I close my eyes?" I said, "By all means." And you just went into trance. You were like hypnotized. And I closed my eyes, I started to channel, and you started to channel, and I started seeing things. And can I tell what I was seeing?
Yeah.
Um, you were like put on the wooden plateau on the water, and you were about to be sacrificed, and it was really scary. And at certain moment, you relaxed, and you said, "Let's go, do it, sacrifice me." And your throat was cut.
Mhm.
And so then we both came out of this trance state and we started to talk again. And you experienced something very similar in that moment, in that period of time that there was something with the throat. And then it was like, wow, it was already big thing what happened. So should we still do the distant healing like with what I normally do with energies? And we decided to go through. So you went to meditate and we disconnected from video. And there again, I was working with the energies and you took over. You took over me doing that. I was like, what is happening now? And you took me to the think cave of yours, what you explained later. And that was Magic Cave. I have some other caves that I go to, made of crystals and with fountains and with water pools and the stuff. But you took me to your pink cave while I was busy with your energies. I was like, wow, she took over my healing. We are like intertwined sisters that we send energy to each other and we manipulate this sounds negative, but I cannot find a better word at this moment. It's like we play with them. We
Mhm.
play and send and we receive, and it's like it's a play.
Yeah.
Energy is a play. We should not look at it, oh, like it's heavy or is this. Like for a shaman, there is no bad or good energy. There is fast energy, which is high frequency, or is a slow energy. And those slow energies, they become crystallized in the body, and that's when we get the body sickness.
Mhm. Your soul is fragmented. And when you and I met, I wasn't practicing yet as a healer, a psychic healer. I don't
Right.
think, yeah, no, I don't think so. I think I was just doing like the life coaching. I had just maybe started doing a Reiki practice, but I wasn't really fully awakened to my gifts at that point. And it is really through our relationship and just kind of experimenting with our psychic energies that I've really been able to evolve to practice at the level that I practice now and to help people
You.
at that level now. Because how many times have I just been here in Canada and then I'll be like, Ausra, and then I'll get a vision and I'll message you and you're like, oh my God, I was doing that. I can see you. That's why I'm like, I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
Because now that our souls have merged and we're in the same frequency, it doesn't matter that in this time and space, I'm here in the North Hemisphere and you are where you are. It doesn't matter. And that's the magic of healing, that like we know what we can accomplish in 20 minutes and 3 hours. Like, how much decades of release have you and I done together on just hours of session time, right? Imagine coming into a container for a whole week. Like, it's just like a spa week for your soul. That's the way that I see it. It's just a complete
Yes.
beautiful cleanse of light energy. It's like I'm just getting so excited because I'm like, just imagine just like being happy and free and released it, and like in a beautiful location. It's just like you're like, I don't want this fairy dream to ever end because it feels
I
so good.
And you bring me to another subject that I have completely forgotten because we are just jumping from one to another. But healing us, allowing ourselves to be happy, we send ripples, we send waves to our environment, we influence people around us, we allow our children to be happy. We heal the ancestral lines of our parents, our grandparents, and the whole shebang down the line there. Our ancestors are so happy for the work we are doing. We are breaking generational curses. And that's not just a thing to say, you
No,
know. Oh, that sounds good. No, 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 no.
no, you and I have been doing this work since 2021. So we have gone,
Rejected?
yeah, we have gone through our own individual journeys to build up to this point where we are so confident and so empowered to be offering this. Like just to give you an example, like when my marriage fell apart and I was in the void. Like it's healed now, but when I was going through that intense heartbreak, I didn't have a single soul that I could really connect with. That was like my 4 a.m. call that I could be like, I'm hurting. I feel like I'm dying. I don't know how to move on in life. I feel like, at that time, I really thought my reality was that I was going to live in a 1-bedroom apartment and my life was over. That felt so real at that time. It felt so real. And I remember going into my closet and just like being on the floor and like grabbing my phone and sending a message. And I don't even know if you could understand me, but I was like, oh. And it was just like my soul just needed to be released. It needed to say what it express and feel and go through burning down so that it could go through that phoenix reincarnation. And like we've held that intense space for each other that sometimes a lot of people are not like, typically people are not available for that. Do you know what I mean? It takes a special person to
I
hold
know.
that, to hold that space for each other. And we're
The
here we
best,
are, we're like, hey, we're gonna do it. You get the two of us for the week. We're gonna hold you down. We're gonna hold you down through whatever cycle you're going through so you can rise up. So we're really welcoming in like the women that have that, like, yes, this is what I need to work. I need to work with two badass spiritual healers who talk to each other on a psychic channel. Maybe you'll come into the psychic channel too and help elevate your own conscious awareness, activate your psychic abilities, take you through your natal chart, help you and introduce you to shamanic tools of healing. This is literally going to unicorn camp for a week. Like
that unicorn camp, I love that. But that happens often with the clients, that clients get their gifts activated, that they
yes,
were
yes,
dormant, and that
100%.
it comes up because some stuff is cleared up, and then they can breathe into it. So one thing, like for me, to be able to breathe, to be able to relax in every cell of our body, to expand, that's so important.
Oh
We
yeah.
can't heal and we can't manifest that everybody wants to manifest. We can't manifest when the manifestation is only going, oh, I want this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see myself there. Yeah, yeah, give it to me. And the full body is like this. We cannot breathe. It's like
Yeah.
our all the muscles are tense and contracted. No, there is no manifestation in that state
No.
because the thing has nowhere to come in. There is no space.
Yeah,
So we have
exactly.
to
You have
clear
nothing. You
everything
energetically
out.
have nothing to receive. So that's like such a good.
Correct. There is no place because when all is like that, there is no place to come. It's full of shit. That's
Yeah.
first thing. But even if the shit is let out, the purging, the whatever, emotional, but can also be true purging. Even if all that is gone and we still hold on like contracted, nothing can come in because we hold on to everything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we should call our retreat like
Unicorn?
it's like, oh my God, it's like a soul rehab. It's a soul rehabilitation.
Yes.
Love it. Yes, I love that. And like when we share our next conversation, I want to get like really specific in our agenda. It's not going to be something that we're holding, this is a regimented schedule, but we have so many special treats. And between the two of us, there's just so much that we are spoiling everyone with, everything from like the art that you create, the healings that we are going to be offering, the astrology that is available. So I want to save that for another conversation though, because I want to have that conversation when the moon is in a water sign so we can get extra juicy under that water moon. We're under an Aquarius moon, so it's like future pacing and elevating the consciousness, and it's all for humanity, and it is. So I'm like, ooh, let's seal it. Let's seal it here. Let's seal it here. And then we'll come back in part 2. How does that sound?
That sounds wonderful. And I'm just listening to you and your vibe, your spontaneity, your enthusiasm, and in your huge heart, your huge capacity to hold all that. It's like it's such a pleasure to be your friend and to be able to do this. And we have not ever met.
I know. I know. We're gonna meet for the first time. Oh my God, I'm gonna
Will
cry.
be a huge hug. And we are huggers.
We're big huggers, okay? People will definitely be getting all the hugs
So
here.
if somebody is coming to retreat and they are not huggers, I'm not sure
I
if they will survive,
don't know. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Ah,
because it's gonna be some hugging there.
so much release, you know? And don't forget, we're pretty funny too, okay? We're pretty funny. So it's not all serious, okay?
No, it's not all serious. And playing
Lots of
is
joking.
such an important part to heal, to
Yeah.
not look at yourself and at your shit too seriously. Because when we look only seriously, oh, this happened to me, and oh, they did this to me, and oh, I never got this to have this. When we take a step back and another, and maybe go far, far away from that, it's like all is hilarious.
It is.
Everything that happens in our life is hilarious. And when we come into that space where we are held
Yeah.
with no judgment,
Yes.
we
And
get a
what is a
mirror.
happy baby? A happy baby giggles. People love to see a baby laughing. And we got to remember that. We were once that baby rolling around that loved to be tickled and loved to be kissed and hugged and played, you know? Like,
And
oh,
a yoga pose with
happy baby, you know? We all have that inside of us. Even if we feel we don't have a memory of it, it's the beginning of every single story in our bloodline. We were tickled, happy, kissed babies at some point of our lives, our mothers or grandmothers. And if they weren't, we will know. We will know and we will activate that energy and release that. So it's so important. And I'm just like, oh my God, like my cheeks are hurting. My cheeks are hurting from like all this energy and like just the expansion in the changes and the ripples, and like it's not just the people that are coming, you're right, it's like a whole impact. It's their families, it's the people in their networks, and it's just it's a big ripple effect into the world. And this is how we heal humanity, you know, this is how we do our part, and it's exciting. You're an Aquarius sun, I'm an Aquarius rising, so for us, this is the work we are here to do, to serve humanity with our gifts. So
Yes,
you're
and
service.
I am a projector in human design, and you are
Man,
freaking manifesting generator. It's like we got you.
we so got you. Exactly. Exactly. So my big three are a Pisces sun, a Taurus moon, and an Aquarius rising. So all of this beautiful space holding comes very natural to me. Um, and I just cannot wait to meet you on, you know, in November when the time is that we are going to meet. So look out for part two, because we're going to be unveiling more treats to
So
look forward to.
all these themes are just running through my head, and I cannot stop talking to you.
I know.
And
We've been on
yes,
the call for like 3, 4 hours.
next time.
Okay,
And
okay,
yes,
okay. We're gonna leave it here.
this
Oh my God. Love you so
resonates.
much.
If you want to be held in that crazy space and be your weirdest self and be celebrated for that, come in November.
Yeah,
We got you.
we got you. All right. All right, you can find me at Energetic Insights Co. and you can find Azra at In Search of Me.
Search
Look
for me.
and search for me. We will see you. Mwah. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video.
Yes.
Hold on, let me stop the recording.